Hi everyone, I'm Becky Lynn. Welcome to Busy, Smart, and Strong. And today we're going to talk to brand new parents. Brand new parents. Wow, what a time in life that is. I remember those days. But a big issue that actually was starting to be talked about quite a bit when my kids were born is sharing a bed, co-sleeping with your infant. And I have a special guest today, Dr. Jack Wolfson of Wolfson Integrative Cardiology. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
So before we get into our topic for the day, you also call yourself the natural cardiologist. What is a natural cardiologist?
Well, a natural cardiologist is someone who uses nutrition, supplements, lifestyle changes to actually prevent and treat disease. I try and go after the cause of disease as opposed to just the Band-Aid approach, which may be pharmaceuticals or surgical procedures. I actually spend a lot of time talking with patients, spend a lot of time examining the patients, and really, once again, getting to the cause of why they have health issues.
How does our topic for today, sharing a bed, co-sleeping with your infant, work its way into your practice? Why are you an expert on this for today?
Well, that's a great question. First of all, we do have two children, and we both my wife and I co-sleep with both of our children, a 7-year-old son and another 2-year-old boy. So that certainly gives me a lot of expertise in that. And because I am a doctor and people come to me for information about these issues, I've done a lot of research. I've talked to a lot of parents. I've been to a lot of lectures where these issues are discussed. So I think from my own personal experience and once again on a professional side, I think it gives me definitely, it makes me a good authority on these topics.
Okay, since he actually has lived through this and still is, we're going to get to the bottom of this. It's becoming more and more common for new parents to share a bed with their babies. But the American Academy of Pediatrics is not necessarily for it. You are.
Well, for millions of years, human beings have been sleeping with their children. Animals sleep with their young. A newborn chick of a bird does not sleep in its own nest. They all sleep together. Every animal species sleeps together, and human beings should be no different. It's such an amazing time to be able to bond with our children, to give them the comfort that they need, to be next to their parent as opposed to in their own room by themselves, left to deal with all the things that are going on in the world. They're newborns. They're 1 year old, they're 2 years old, they're 7 years old. They're just children. They're just little things that need nurturing of their parents.
Well, now, the American Academy of Pediatrics has come out and said that as many as half of child or infant deaths in the United States are linked to, in some way, co-sleeping arrangements. Would you say that's so or not? Or, I mean, what are the problems involved with it?
Well, first of all,
that's kind of scary.
It's definitely scary. Nobody likes to see a child harmed, that's for sure. But that's one of the benefits of co-sleeping, is that if something is a matter with the child, you're there to take care of the child. They're not in a different room away from you. If they're crying, if they're choking, if they're in pain, if someone is trying to abduct them, you're there to protect the child. That is what parents' -- job is to do, is to protect their children. So just because some governing body comes out and says, well, this is associated with increased risk of dying.
They specifically say, though, that it's Western sleeping. It's our bed covers. We have sheets, we have big beds with headboards and footboards and railings, and that those are all dangerous.
Well, as a parent, you have to educate yourself. You have to know how to do it appropriately. So that means having a firm mattress. A lot of these parents where the children does suffer death in the bed, were they smokers? Were they drinkers? Were they under the influence of narcotics? These are the things we have to look at. What kind of parents were doing that? We shouldn't be telling parents that are good parents, that are quality parents, not to co-sleep with our children. We should want them as close as possible and keep them safe by keeping ourselves healthy, and we'll keep them healthy.
At what age should the child, in your opinion, go to its own bed? You said you have a 7-year-old.
I have a 7-year-old, and he's not inkling to do it yet. But I assume in the next couple years, he'll be ready to move on to his own bed. I'm not aware of any situation where there's 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds that are sleeping with their
I hope not.
with their parents. I certainly hope not either. When the child is ready and they feel comfortable, they'll do it. But as of right now, like I said, my 7-year-old, He's mature in a lot of ways, but he's still a child, and he still needs the comfort and security of knowing that his parents are there with him.
Okay, now you said you have a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old?
Yes.
Okay, so you sleep with one and your wife sleeps with the other? Is that the way? Or all 4 in one big bed?
Oftentimes we sleep together, but for the most part we actually sleep separately because it can be a little bit difficult in the family
crowded,
bed
I would
with
think.
a lot of people in there. It can be problematic, but one of us is always with our children at all times.
Okay, one quick question. If people are scared about this because if they feel like they're going to roll over on their child or something, as you say, there are safety measures. I would say don't go into it blindly. Do some research if you think this is the way you want to go with your kid and find out what the safety precautions are. But what about just putting a little bassinet beside the bed? I mean, I think they even make a little sidecar now that you can attach to the bed.
I think that is a fine option. I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. Mothers should be nursing their children, that's for sure. So it's very easy to grab your child when they're right next to you to have them latch on. But if they're in the bassinet or the crib right next to to the parents, I don't see much of an issue with that at all. It is nice to have that really close bonding, to be able to be skin to skin, with our children. And for example, my son, he says, "Dad, itch me or cuddle me and scratch me," and I'm available there for him to do that. So, and he's 7 years old, so he's not going to be in a crib or a bassinet.
No, of course not.
But if the mattress is firm, it's amazing as parents that we're just aware of where the children are, especially if we're not under the influence of some kind of narcotic or chemical or whatnot.
Okay, yeah.
If we're cleaning our sheets, for example, with quality detergents, eco-friendly detergents that don't have any chemicals in there. Those chemicals can interact with and interfere with the way the baby sleeps and the way that our senses are. When your baby is moving around, and that'll alert you to be on the lookout that the baby is near. In the 7.5 years that I've been sleeping with both of our children, not once has it ever been even near a situation where, wow, I was too close to my child or it was a problem. It's just not that way.
Well, you heard it from an expert, someone who does it all the time, sleeps with the kids and co-sleeping, sharing a bed.
Co-sleeping, bed sharing.
Okay.
Sure.
It's a big topic, a big trend in parenting today. You'll have to maybe do your own research and see if it's for you. Dr. Wolfson, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And thanks for joining us on Busy, Smart, and Strong.